Overwhelming but efficient, staggering but effective. A case study in how to redefine the rules of close quarters. Hi, thicc here, and boy, I've had a lot of fun recording this video already. The past couple have been with guns either niche in functionality or completely awful performance all around, so you can imagine I was more than willing to switch off to something which is relatively new to the meta and fresh in terms of the role it plays on the battlefield. The bullpup with the big bullets. Yes, today we're taking a look at the Tavor 7. I'm thicc, and you're watching Gun Guide. Refreshingly, and probably for the first time this season, I bring you a gun I know enough about, even without googling, to give you a brief history in the real-life bio, even though I know how much you gun guys in the comments love to give us all a little history lesson. The SKS actually has nothing to do with the
If I
AK
recall
design
correctly,
the Tavor is produced by the Israeli Weapons Industries, or else IWI, you know, kind of like NWI, but instead of making shitposting RP shooters, they just do the real thing. Not a company of obscurity either. The Tavor is right up there on a list of greatest hits manufactured by them, interestingly enough, alongside the Galil SAR, or else as it's known in the game, the Insurgent Ace 23. Bruh. Looks like they've been double dipping in terms of sales to both the UN and the Tracksuit Gang. Now, I can't testify to real life, but it seems to make sense that in the game they're highly similar models, with the Ace being a more ranged-centric pick as opposed to the CQB hardy machine that is the Tavor. Of the two, I prefer this one for its low-profile aesthetic with reduced barrel length thanks in part to the ever-so-cherished bullpup design. A lot of advisor guns are meant to fill different positions along the ranks of an already diverse team roster. You're supposed to fill in as a dollar store marksman, rifle, or in this case, breacher, and if you've watched this series for any time at all, you know I'm really one of those breachers too, or as I would put it, cross that right there and put defender instead. See, I come from Siege, and nothing makes me happier than holding down a line of sight through a door or around a corner to stop the enemy from taking objectives, and the compact packages offered are all incredible for doing just that. But of all the magnificent choices to go with, and there's one glaring consistent flaw with each and every one. The bullets, because the bullets are tiny pistol calibers on all the breacher guns, or at least behave like that, even when they shouldn't. Enter the Tavor. It doesn't fire the conventional PDW rounds, or even what you'd find on most rifles. No, the Tavor we have in Insurgency isn't even the standard model chambered in 5.56 that you'd find commonly in real life. This one's the rather more rare Tavor 7, and that means it's chambered in the extra thick 7.62 by 5.1 round, or else commonly referred to as the 308. This gun's got a compact bullpup design for close range optimization, but it's shooting a bullet more commonly found in DMRs, straight up sniper rifles. You can probably imagine how ridiculous that is. Now, forget about having to wait for the enemy to round the corner to eliminate them because your 9mm won't penetrate past 2 inches. With this, you'll be neutralizing threats you only have to hear because the rounds tear through just about any wall. The exact same caliber as the previously covered SCAR, actually. If you're security and looking at getting yourself a nice Fortnite classic, keep in mind that for 2 extra credits, you can just get the same thing but better in every way.
That's pretty good.
Rate of fire, more than 100 rounds per minute faster, better penetration and velocity, and all you have to deal with is some harsher recoil, something SCAR users would be accustomed to anyways. The recoil isn't even that bad. I had a lot of different configurations I used when making this video before I even realized that I had never even added a compensator or foregrip on this thing, because I never felt like I needed it. Accuracy isn't an issue either. I don't know why, but this gun seems so precise, or maybe it's just the bullets are so wide it's actually harder to miss. Velocity and penetration allegedly aid against heavier armors as well, meaning this gun should punch harder than the SCAR 2. It certainly feels like it, though that could be in part because it sounds so good. 20 round standard capacity with the option for a 30 rounder, the extension is a nicety, but I found myself perfectly capable of killing as many people as I'd like to. If you're really worried about running out, use those 2 credits on a nice handgun instead. They're real lifesavers. Speaking of lifesavers, something that's definitely not is the reload speed. Much like all bullpups, it's a little on the slower side. That's okay though, because the new reload grip is both reasonably priced and incredibly useful. It actually verifiably saved me from some otherwise awkward situations.
Got him!
Optic-wise, you can use whatever you like. Unlike the other two 308 advisor guns, this one doesn't have a 7x scope, but that's not so bad. Use a holographic for close quarters, or even a PKAS for position supremacy at a more intermediate range. It's fully functional with full-on scopes too. I used one with a laser and it still did well anywhere I took it, and made kills easily everywhere I looked. I can't say enough about how ridiculously clean this gun feels. The overall performance just clicks with my playstyle, and much like the AUG, I'm loving every game I played with yet another weirdly green colored bullpup. On the topic of colors, yes, it's green, a rather saturated one too. I wasn't fully sold on the aesthetic, but that's okay because NWI made sure to throw in a brand new Desert Hex skin as a breakaway, and this gun just looks hot. Looks good, feels good, and while seemingly counterintuitive to the role of a room clearer, this is the one that'll put them down the hardest. Now that's just about all I have to say about this platform. About a year ago it came out with Power Plant Map as the first major update I played in the game, and I've loved it ever since. If anything I said in this video catches your fancy and you haven't given it a whirl, definitely try the Tavor, you won't want to go back. Hopefully this is a step back towards making content on a consistent schedule, and you guys have liked this video as much as the last dozen or so. Be sure to tune in next time because I'll be covering the Ace 23 counterpart and all you can expect to get out of something which operates on a much more distanced playing field. But until then, I've been thicc, this is the Tavor 7, and you've all been watching Gun Guide. I'll see you out there in Insurgency.